Game Freak and the Pokemon Company have a problem, and it's a problem that's only going to continue to get worse with every single generation. I'm talking, of course, about the blight, the plague, the infestation that is legendary Pokemon. Hey Pokemon Masters, PokeAtmos here, and yeah, legendary Pokemon. I don't think Game Freak's problem here is how many legendary Pokemon there are. From region to region, if you've got Kalos, where there's only 3 main legendaries and 3 mythicals, that's not too bad, but by the same merit, I don't think the Alola region, where there's all of the Ultra Beasts and all of these other legendaries and split evolution for the main legendary, I don't think these things are problems either. Game Freak designs each individual region very meticulously, and all of the legendary Pokemon have a place within the region they're introduced. And that was fine back in the early days of Pokemon. Red and Blue had the legendary birds and Mew and Mewtwo, and then Gold and Silver had Ho-Oh, Lugia and the legendary beasts, but you went back to Kanto in the post-game so you'd meet those legendary Pokemon there. Gen 3 gave us a really wide range of games, with the Hoenn games covering the Gen 3 legendaries, with the Fire Red and Leaf Green covering the Kanto legendaries, and then the Johto legendaries appearing in Colosseum and Gale of Darkness. At this point in time, nothing's really feeling too crammed in. Even in Generation 4, where you had the Diamond and Pearl legendaries in Diamond and Pearl, and the Johto legendaries in Heart Gold Soul Silver, as well as the Kanto legendaries, because Kanto's in the post-game, it just wasn't that hard to usher them in. But Gen 5 is where we started seeing some issues, because Gen 5 was a small generation. Black and White only had Gen 5 legendaries in them, and then Black and White 2 were the only other games in the generation, which meant all of the legendary Pokemon from past generations had to be crammed into the post-game of Generation 5. They didn't even get all of them in. But gosh, they tried. There were a lot of legendary appearing in the post-game of Generation 5, so by the time of Generation 6, Pokemon realized they had a problem. If they wanted a full national dex to be completable within any one generation, they were going to need to shoehorn in old legendary Pokemon with reasons that were very vague, like portals in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, explaining how legendary Pokemon could be there from across time and space. Then more portals in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which allowed us access to other dimensions, explaining how legendary Pokemon like Mewtwo could be in the Alola region or in the Ultra space. And even when that was happening, I was thinking, blimey, they've introduced 11 new Ultra Beasts, as well as Solgaleo and Lunala and Cosmog and Cosmoem and Necrozma, all of which live through Ultra Wormholes. Are they gonna have to shoehorn Ultra Wormholes into every game? Maybe a solution that would have been good and actually would have just left legendary Pokemon as really being legendary is if they were only obtainable in the original games that they came out. So Groudon would only ever be in Ruby or Omega Ruby, and that would add to the legendariness of Groudon. Lugia would only have been in Silver version or Soul Silver. I mean, sure, okay, fine, put it in Gale of Darkness, because that was kind of special. But maybe the thing that would have kept legendary Pokemon legendary and kept people replaying and rebuying old Pokemon games would be to leave the legendary Pokemon only on the generation that they came from. I actually think that would solve this problem altogether. It would give each Pokemon game its definitive role within the Pokemon ecosystem of games, but that train has left the station. And when I was looking at all those Ultra Beasts in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I was just thinking, blimey, how are they going to fit all of those into the next generation? And I thought the answer was simple. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or as I knew them then, the obviously inevitable Gen 4 remakes. But that's not how things turned out. And I think Pokemon, it's such a huge missed opportunity. Let's take a little bit of a look. Okay then, Pokemon Masters, but before I get started, don't forget this title has Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl in it, so you can win a copy of Legends Arceus when it comes out. I'm giving away 3 copies. All you gotta do is leave a comment on this video or any of my videos with Legends Arceus or Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl in the title, and I'll be choosing 3 people to win. Thank you very much. Let's talk about this missed opportunity then. So, in any given generation, as of the last couple generations, they felt the need to complete the entire Pokedex within the gen. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's Pokedex complements X and Y's, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's complements Sun and Moons. They complete each other, and there's these big post games where you can catch all of the different legendary Pokemon from all of the different generations. And it was funny because people were actually talking about Generation 4 remakes as early as Sun and Moon, and it seemed pretty transparent why. Sun and Moon were focused on interdimensional Pokemon, and obviously Diamond and Pearl, it's all about time and space. Now we've got this rippling dimensions. In fact, the Ultra Beasts seem a lot like Giratina in the Distortion world, so it seemed likely the Gen 4 remakes were probably going to come as part of that generation. In fact, in Sun and Moon, they introduced Type Null and Silvally, which are echoes and calls back to Arceus, so it seemed pretty likely to me that there was going to be some kind of Spear Pillar crossover event where if you took your Silvally from Sun and Moon to the inevitable Diamond and Pearl remakes in that generation, that there would be some kind of event. But that obviously didn't end up being the case. Instead, we got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and then we got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and then we got Sword and Shield. And I was thinking, aha, okay, Sword and Shield, and then obviously, inevitably, we're going to get Diamond and Pearl remakes. This is the perfect opportunity to very naturally integrate Ultra Beasts into a post-game, because again, interdimensional beings, and in the post-game of Pokemon Platinum, if you want to encounter either a Dialga or a Palkia, you go to Spear Pillar, and you access a little crystal or portal, and it summons them to the roof of Spear Pillar. It's not too dissimilar to going to the altar of Sun and Moon in Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and then traveling through the Ultra Wormholes to meet legendary Pokemon. And of course, going to the Ultra Spaces to meet the Ultra Beasts. I thought it would make perfect sense when Diamond and Pearl remakes came out, whatever they would be, of course, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you would, in the post-game, after you've got your national decks, hear rumors about crackles in time and space distortions happening at the top of Spear Pillar. And if you happen to have the Pokemon Silvally, which you would have traded over from Sun and Moon, or I guess in this case, Sword and Shield, and by the way, interesting tidbit, Silvally and Type Null are the only outside of that generation legendary Pokemon that appear in Sword and Shield, and yes, they are legendary Pokemon. But you can get them in Sword and Shield. At the time when it was just the vanilla game, no DLC, the only legendary Pokemon that you could get in Sword and Shield was Zacian, Zamazenta, and Eternatus, and Silvally. It was super weird, but my thinking was, oh, they're including this in now, so that when the Diamond and Pearl remakes come out, you can trade across Silvally, go to Spear Pillar, you'll have heard about these crackles in time and space, and then there you can encounter at a random pace, or maybe one at a time, the Ultra Beasts. Smooth, perfect, makes sense, seamless integration. It just makes sense. On top of that, in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they had the Pixie Plate, the only Arceus plate that wouldn't have been in the original Diamond and Pearl because Fairy type didn't exist. Now I know this is because this is the only Fairy boosting move item for competitive play, but still it didn't really make sense to me. They could have created some other Fairy item. They chose to put the Arceus plate there, so I'm like, okay, this is it. Sword and Shield, and then all of those legendary Pokemon are going to somehow be obtainable through Diamond and Pearl. If there is any game that you're going to put interdimensional portals in, Diamond and Pearl are the ones to do it. You have literally creatures that can create rifts in time and space. But then they introduced the Crown Tundra and the Max Raid Adventures, which not only include the Ultra Beasts, but also include Dialga and Palkia. Why? Why do they include Dialga and Palkia? Why is Dialga and Palkia... Why are Dialga and Palkia capturable in the Crown Tundra? It actually boggles my mind right now. Because Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are part of this generation, and they will get compatibility with Pokemon Bank, meaning they will be transferable from to Pokemon Bank to Sword and Shield. So why? And it's like clear to me that Game Freak are worried about the amount of legendary Pokemon that exist in the Max Raid Adventures, so much so that they even created a whole new side quest for the Swords of Justice, which is a pretty cool way to include Keldeo, to be fair. Again, more natural, fits with the world, but they didn't just throw them into the underground bit. But why put Dialga and Palkia down there, and why, if we're going to be doing Diamond and Pearl remakes, why put the Ultra Beasts down there? I obviously realize now that the Diamond and Pearl remakes they're creating are far more faithful remakes, and so they wouldn't want to put the Ultra Beasts in there, but even so. Heck, even if you're not going to put them in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, they would surely have a much more natural and better home in the post-game of Legends Arceus as some big interdimensional bosses that appear at Spear Pillar than they do underground in the Crown Tundra. I don't know, to me, that just made no sense whatsoever. It seems to be a huge missed opportunity, and I also feel like the very fact that Type Null is in Sword and Shield kind of indicated to me that there would be some kind of thing there where they wanted you to take that Type Null, they wanted you to have that Silvally so that you would be ready for the Diamond and Pearl remakes to transfer it, and obviously that Pokemon is the Beast Slayer. It was designed and created after Arceus to slay Ultra Beasts. Given that Legends Arceus is coming out after Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, it would have been a perfect opportunity for some new additional NPC in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl to be like, hey, that's a cool Pokemon, where did you get it? In Galar? That's wild, it's actually from the Alola region and it was designed after a deity that they found here in Sinnoh. This Pokemon has connections to all over the world and maybe even to other worlds. You should take it to Spear Pillar and see what happens. And use it for its intended purpose of slaying the Ultra Beasts. But that's not the direction they went, and so now I'm just ranting about the same thing over and over. A missed opportunity. It is funny to me though, because in theory, the next big remakes that they'll do will be Generation 5, like down the line. We're talking like 6 years down the line now. And Generation 5 was the generation where this problem was most prevalent, and I don't know if there's a way that fits in with the lore of Generation 5 that would really allow for a big bundle of legendary Pokemon to just swarm the region. Like maybe at the Dragon Spiral Tower you could summon forth all the different dragon Pokemon from the Pokemon world, but I just don't see how that would work. And to me, this was like the last very natural opportunity to have the Ultra Beast appear in the Sinnoh region, Type Null being the big connecting factor between those legends and the Generation 4 era. But they didn't do that, and that's fine. Just think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you leave a comment, you are of course in with the chance of winning a copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Thank you all for watching, and of course, so hi Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master!
Wow, what can I say but thank you to everyone supporting this channel, especially those of you supporting on Patreon, and the big patrons of this month, JD Gottlich, Michael Hornschuch, PokeAtmos, PokeBliss, Jed Rubin, Matty Barr, and Stefan Peters. Thank you, all of you. Legends.